Okay, let's just dive right in and validate what so many of you are feeling right now. If you're a neurodivergent woman dealing with what feels like a mountain of endless demands, and you've got that deep, bone-weary exhaustion just sitting heavy in your chest, I really want you to hear this. Neurodivergent burnout isn't a lack of effort. It's not a failure of your willpower. It's a complete neurological collapse of capacity. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a massive hidden crisis, the burnout affecting late-diagnosed neurodivergent women, specifically those navigating both autism and ADHD, or AuDHD. We're going to break down the signs, look at exactly why the medical system misses so many women, and most importantly, we'll map out the structural paths to real, lasting recovery. Here is our roadmap for This Explainer. 1. The hidden burnout crisis. 2. Signs of neurodivergent burnout. 3. The exhausting cost of masking. 4. Misdiagnoses and the system. And 5. Real recovery and treatment. Let's get into it. Starting with Section 1, the hidden burnout crisis, a system out of sync. This brilliant definition from researcher Dora M. Raybaker perfectly anchors what we're talking about today. See, burnout in this context, it's not just about having a really rough week at the office. It's a prolonged autonomic nervous system response to a world built for neurotypicals. It is literally the physiological result of your brain being severely overtaxed, often for years, just trying to meet demands that fundamentally do not match how your neurological system is wired. And when autism and ADHD co-occur, you are dealing with a massively compounded load. Think about it. You have the artistic, sensory, and social processing demands stacked right on top of the ADHD executive function struggles. The result is a nervous system that is constantly, relentlessly working harder than expected. Because of these stacked mechanisms, burnout for AuDHD women doesn't just arrive earlier, it hits significantly harder, and it takes far, far longer to recover from. Moving into Section 2, signs of neurodivergent burnout, capacity versus motivation. So here is a crucial point, and it's where so many women get completely stuck in the medical system, contrasting burnout with depression. AuDHD burnout is a loss of capacity. It's context-dependent, meaning it's tied directly to environmental mismatch, and critically, it actually improves when you drop those external demands. Depression, on the other hand, is pervasive across all contexts and involves a loss of interest. With burnout, you still desperately want to do the things you love. Your brain just literally doesn't have the fuel to initiate them. Because of this, the core symptoms are very specific. We're talking about persistent exhaustion that a good night's sleep just doesn't touch. You might have severe executive dysfunction, like staring at a simple email for an hour, entirely unable to reply. Sensory inputs that you normally tolerate, like bright lights or background noise, suddenly become physically painful. And terrifyingly for a lot of folks, there's a real loss of previously manageable life skills. So many women look incredibly high-functioning on the outside, holding down big careers, while internally battling these symptoms just to survive a Tuesday. Okay, Section 3, the exhausting cost of masking, the invisible burden. I want you to ask yourself, what hidden coping mechanisms have you been using your whole life just to survive in neurotypical spaces? Since childhood, neurodivergent girls are essentially trained to suppress their needs and mask through highly draining behaviors just to avoid shame. What does this look like? It's intense people-pleasing to keep the peace. It's suppressing your natural urge to move or stim, which actually helps you focus. It's forcing yourself to make painful eye contact just to seem normal, and striving for absolute, exhausting perfectionism so no one judges you. Make no mistake, masking is a survival tool. It absolutely might help you fit in short-term and protect you from immediate social rejection. But long-term? Maintaining that blank, acceptable facade suffocates your identity. It drains your cognitive resources dry, and it directly causes the capacity collapse we've been talking about. The clinical data actually breaks camouflaging down into 4 distinct types. It's not just one thing. Behavioral masking leads straight to chronic fatigue. Cognitive masking, scripting out entire conversations in your head before they even happen, that leads to severe rumination and social anxiety. Emotional masking brings on numbness. And identity-related masking, that literally causes dissociation and a total loss of who you actually are. The data proves unequivocally that trying to adapt to neurotypical standards harms your health.
And we absolutely cannot ignore menstrual health here. The unpredictable hormonal shifts of your cycle, PMS, PMDD, and especially perimenopause, strip away the delicate control neurodivergent women rely on just to function. When estrogen fluctuates, cognitive symptoms spike, and as so many women report, these hormonal changes make continued masking neurologically impossible. The mask literally slips and burnout takes over.
Which brings us to Section 4, Misdiagnosis and the System. Why women are missed. Think about the gold standard clinical tests like the AuDHD or the RADS-R. They were developed based on predominantly male presentations of autism. They are looking for overt externalized behaviors. Because of this baked-in bias, they completely miss the internalized female autism phenotype, where special interests might be socially acceptable, like psychology or literature, and where profound social difficulties are hidden behind a lifetime of intense cognitive camouflaging. As a result of these bias testing parameters, women are constantly misdiagnosed. They're told they're just anxious or shy, or that they're just feeling at basic self-care. They're gaslit into believing their struggles are personal failings. But the reality? They are experiencing a massive neurological mismatch and sustained executive overload. This is a design issue, not a personal resilience issue. Finally, Section 5, Real Recovery and Treatment, Fixing the Structure. Let me be crystal clear on this point. A bubble bath or a weekend off will absolutely not fix this. Rest alone usually fails because burnout isn't caused by temporary fatigue. Rest doesn't remove the systemic demands that are causing the overload in the first place. If you rest for a week and then return to the exact same high-demand, high-masking environment, your nervous system is going to relapse almost immediately. Real recovery means changing the actual capacity and demand equation. You have to proactively reduce your overall demands and sensory inputs. You need to simplify your environment so you aren't making so many exhausting executive decisions every hour. It means redesigning your life and, if possible, your job to fit your neurotype, not the other way around. And yes, it requires allowing yourself extended recovery time, sometimes months or years, while actively unlearning the heavy guilt we associate with resting. But hey, we can't just put this all on the individual. Workplaces have to take responsibility. Organizations need to step up and remove the psychosocial hazards of poor job design. They need to create psychologically safe spaces where unmasking is actually supported, not penalized. Policies have to account for the profound interaction between hormones and neurodivergence. And we need to stop making assumptions about standard experiences of womanhood that end up alienating autistic women. Because here's the amazing part. When neurodivergent women are supported and accepted exactly as they are, without the constant demand to camouflage, everything flips. They experience genuine empowerment. Their baseline stress drops significantly. And they finally have the space to reclaim their authentic energy and thrive in a way that is actually sustainable for their unique, incredible minds. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Until we focus on structural inclusion and redesigning our environments, rather than just demanding more individual coping and masking, we're going to keep misframing neurodivergent burnout as a personal failure. The knowledge is out there. The real question is, are we ready to change the system? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.